Hey, it's Jen from Wilder Waters, and this interview was broadcasted in our brand new luxury stay on Clarny Point in Calabogie. If you're interested in learning more, booking your next staycation, you can find all of our luxury rentals on Airbnb, and you can find us on Instagram at wilder.waters or on the web at wilderwaters.ca.
OMG, it's Jacquie K. She's back and in real life. Jacquie, how are you?
I'm good. I'm living the dream.
You
know?
are living the dream, and I can't wait to get into it. But first and foremost, Jacquie, welcome back to OB Boss Babes, but this time in real life.
I know.
So Jacquie, how was your summer other than busy AF with all the brides and the bridesmaids that you guys got to glam up for their big day?
Yeah, I don't even know how to describe it other than busy.
Right?
Like I think I'm going on like day 60 something of like having no days off. So like I am, go. But I can do that because I take time off in the winter. So like that's how I get through it.
I was
tell
gonna
myself,
say,
winter is coming.
Yeah, you guys are in a very like underappreciated industry in the fact that like you guys bust your butts off all season long. And it's not even like a summer season. Like you guys basically start from like the beginning of May until December.
Yeah,
really, like for New Year's and stuff?
April until like New Year's Eve.
Oh, April, So the better part of the year.
Yep.
Yeah. So there goes your summer. There goes your weekends. Yeah, winter is long, but like I mean, I don't know. It depends on what your forte is and if you're an outdoorsy kind of person and stuff. I'm not. I'm a house cat in the winter.
Okay. We snowboard. So like, yeah.
So you guys,
I love winter.
Okay. Yeah. So that is like, I guess a good compromise then to be outside and stuff like that. But but you and your team are literally in overdrive nonstop, Jacquie. How do you do it? Like, what do you guys live off of other than caffeine?
Because we usually, so most people don't know this, but when you're doing a wedding, you don't eat or drink usually. Like, so you're literally going like 7 to 8 hours with no food, no beverages, because you're so busy. So many things go wrong. Like so many things are running late. So like your only focus is getting everyone in the chair and getting done. So
I was going to say, how did makeup artists and hairstylists do it beforehand? Like back in the day before GPS and Google was there to guide us. But no, they would still go to them. They didn't come to you. That's a luxury service now, right?
It is. It absolutely is.
Yeah, because you're taking time out of your day. You're waking up early in the morning. You're following these brides across the province and the bridesmaids. Literally. You're doing the trials. Like, let's not forget about that too, because that's a big part of it. Yeah. And then you're glamming everybody up, and you're also on. Like you are. It's their big day, but you also have to be bubbly and excited, and like maybe even the caffeine hasn't even hit you yet, and you have to be on your game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And you have to be like also the calming presence for the day. So like not only are you like meeting all these new people, you have to be like on your best game. Right. You also have to calm everyone down and be like the chill for the morning, because it is the most stressful part of a wedding day.
That's such a good point. Yeah, because not only are you like happy and cheerful, you're also like in that calming demeanor too.
You have to be
like when the mother-in-law and the mother of the bride are running around. Like I remember the day of my wedding, I couldn't find my contacts.
Oh yeah.
And contact lenses, like, that was the be all end all, because I need to see where I'm going.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
And like when I had like my makeup artist and my hairstylist, they're being like, okay, well, somebody, like sister, you go find like the contacts. Holly, you sit down. We at least can work on your hair,
Delegate.
Exactly.
But see, they took control.
They did.
Yeah. And you don't even realize it in the moment. But
you guys are also therapists in that regard too, because you guys hear everything and have to be that sounding board for people.
Yeah, 100%. I think because they get so vulnerable in the chair.
Yeah. But also, Jacquie, too, you also oversee and co-own another business out in Pakenham. How do you manage it all? Like, how do you do it?
So one, I feel like I said this on our last episode, I don't have kids. So I feel like that helps a lot. I can literally dedicate 12, 14, 16 hours a day to work, and it's fine. I don't have to go home and care for children at the end of the day. So I feel like that's how I do it.
Yeah, that is that definitely helps. Like
if we had kids right now, I definitely wouldn't be working this hard. I wouldn't want to. Like I'd want to be home for my kids. So,
but still, like, for the busiest part of the year where you're busting around, running around, you're also operating a destination, a seasonal destination as well. That's like in the outdoors. So like,
I know I chose the wrong third business, or
the right one. You never know because I mean, it is doing well.
Same
and there
season.
are yeah. But oh my gosh, like what are some tangible ways though, Jackie, that you have like implemented into your lifestyle to avoid burnout? Because I think that this is just the number one question for entrepreneurs that everybody's always like, what are you doing that's differently? Like, how are you surviving and thriving?
So I will say I experienced burnout like no other during the pandemic when we had to catch up from all the postponements. That year I've never been more burnt out and more like in pain, like chronic pain in my life. So this year, 2023, I started taking my health seriously. So like I invested in a naturopath, expensive supplements, like whole new diet regime, like started going to bed at literally 8:30 p.m., 9 p.m. Like I actually put my health first because that was the first thing to go, was literally my health. I was just in pain every single day trying to get through these seasons. And I feel like that's often overlooked. Like we hear a lot like, yeah, drink water, like sleep lots. But like,
easier said than done.
Yeah, like no, like you need to take it a step further, invest in the naturopath, invest in a massage therapist, go see a physio. If something's wrong in your body, deal with it now rather than waiting until the end of the season. So that's what I've done. I invest in everything health-wise. Like there's no limit for me. That's kind of the mindset shift I've made.
I think that's so smart. And I like that you touched on all these different areas too of like natural remedies that we don't tend to think of. And we also maybe also think of it in a way as like, oh, like that's like, not to say like that's bougie, but like that's, you know what I mean? Like that's like an unneeded expense that I don't have.
And you know what?
To use in my life, right?
It totally is a privilege to be able to do all of this.
But it's necessary.
Yeah.
And it's no different than getting your hair done or going to see the doctor. Like in order to be your best self, we give and give and give all the time that like we tend to forget. Like, and this is actually something that I didn't know if I was like going to talk about this on the podcast, Jackie, but like, so me and my husband right now, we're struggling with secondary infertility. And so one of the things I was like, well, I don't understand like why I can't get pregnant. Like, this is just so silly to me. Like, why is this a problem? And when I met with my acupuncturist, first step, to recovery there, it's like, well, let's look at your lifestyle. Like, what are you eating? What are you doing? What's your stress levels like? Are you sleeping through the night? Yeah. And like, are you getting enough water intake? What's your exercise regimen? And I'm like, I'm walking up hills with my kids. And I'm like, that's just not doing enough. And so when you're kind of like actually sitting down and laying out everything that you're doing and you're walking through the day, of course you're looking back being like, no wonder I'm burnt out. No wonder I'm stressed. No wonder like my body is in fight or flight right now.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. My naturopath actually like jokingly and not jokingly after doing my blood work was like, you don't have a choice but to implement these changes or you will live a short life. Like you need to take this seriously because my cortisol levels were so high. My cholesterol was high and I eat a whole food vegetarian diet. So there was no reason for that other than stress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what else were you doing beforehand? Like, or what were you not doing?
Yeah. So I feel like now I literally get monthly blood work done, which is bougie for sure. But to watch all my levels.
Isn't that funny though? Like to say that getting blood work done is bougie. 100%,
but it is like, especially like if we're thinking like an American audience, like the cost for that, I wouldn't be able to do that in the States.
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah,
we take so many of those things for granted.
Here, in Canada, I mean, unless you're going through a naturopath, when I want extra blood work done, I do pay for that out of pocket. But if you're going through your family doctor, you can get that done for nothing every month. So that I started doing, I actually found that I had hypothyroidism. So I started medication for that, which I never would have found if I hadn't gone to the naturopath and started this like path to wellness kind of thing. Up to my protein. I take more supplements now. I track my macros every single day. Like I just had to get real serious about tracking everything going into my body and going out and like getting my health on track.
Yeah. It's funny the things that we took for granted when we were in our 20s.
Yeah.
That we were able to just bounce back and eat like shit.
I cannot bounce back now.
Right?
Yeah.
We have to take like so many more like approaches in order to like get back on track and stay healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, looking back, like the things that we were putting onto our bodies, we could have another podcast about birth control in itself, the different medications and stuff too, Jackie. Like it's just insane.
That was part of the journey, right? Was like going off hormonal contraceptives. Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy crazy the things that we're not educated on that we're putting in our bodies, right?
I know.
Or like immediately going and being on certain medications instead of looking towards more holistic approaches.
Yeah. As I say that with Roseanne.
Yeah. Balance though, Jacquie. Balance. So Jacquie, I love talking about networking and building connections. So I want to get into networking specifically in the wedding industry. So we're shifting complete gears here, but I want to kind of like hone in on this conversation and like learn a little bit more about how you network specifically with other wedding vendors and potential clients while also building authority around your own brand. Because I feel like that could be a little challenging because you want to stand out, but it's also really important to like make connections with people that are in the same industry as you.
Yeah. And there's also like the fine balance of like not stepping on toes for vendors who have been here for decades and like have established those relationships with certain. So there's politics that play into it too as well. You don't want to approach the wrong venue that's already had an established relationship with a hair and makeup artist for a decade. It's very much like nuanced like that, which I think a lot of people don't realize. For me though, I had my bridal hair and makeup business before I came to Ottawa, but came to Ottawa for my second degree at Carleton. So that was when I really did the majority of my networking, were those first like 3 years. And for me, it was styled shoots. So it's like where wedding vendors get together, everyone works for free. It's for like the common goal of networking, but also creating content for your portfolio and social media. And that's how I met like all of my best friends to date now in the wedding industry. There are groups like the Rising Tide Society, if you've heard of that. No. It's a honeybook group.
Okay.
So my first few years, I did go to every Wednesday meeting. So there's groups like that, Facebook groups. Like now that I'm in Smith Falls, I'm a huge champion in the local Facebook group. So I'm a believer in that, like getting to know the people behind the businesses in your community. And I think just even like knowing someone behind a screen, you can network without doing it in person, which I think is really scary for a lot of people. But when you're behind the screen and you can do that in a Facebook group in the comfort of your own home, like that's the best way to start.
But getting back to like the specific networking aspect though, Jacquie, like so many people can sometimes feel intimidated or especially meeting with other people in the same field as them, like in terms of like hair and makeup, and they feel almost like they get their back up or they think like, oh, there's competition in the room. And you have a different approach with this.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? Like even for an event like what we're hosting today, like I brought along my makeup artist, even knowing that like, oh, this is something Jacquie does, but I'm also like not putting the spotlight on you being like, you're my guest, but also I'm expecting you
to
like.
But I also love that like they were here.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you just have that welcoming and warm presence. And this is, I mean, you're such a huge community supporter and babe that empowers other babes, and like there is that camaraderie that people find, but like a lot of people don't have that though, and that's actually something that can take time to learn. So how did you learn that?
Honestly, I don't know. Like I don't know if that's something that's always just come natural to me. I think growing up I was very shy, very introverted. So now in adulthood, now that I have more confidence, I'd still say I'm introverted, but like I just want to make everyone in the room feel comfortable. And like that's what I do with my business too. Like I'm coming in to naked faces, like on some people's most vulnerable day of their life. Like I just want to make everyone feel good and comfortable. And like, so I always want to be the one to like make the introduction first, say like, hey, what's your Instagram? Like follow you to show that this is like friendly and possible. There are more than enough clients to go around for every artist and stylist in this area in the country. Like in general, if anything, there's not enough artists and stylists. So I think it's just wanting to make everyone feel comfortable.
And isn't that like kind of how you built your team too? Because like, that's how you get to know other artists, and then to be able to be like, hey, like I really like you vibe with my vibe and my brand.
100%.
So we are looking for a spot on my team. Like, and that is even like a way to work with somebody else and bring them on.
Yeah, 100%. That's how I've met all of my team members. Yeah.
So Jacquie, we talked about manifestation in your original episode, but when did you first learn about manifestation?
2019, like before the pandemic. I had the dream of buying a school bus. I was in the week that I was meant to apply to law schools. And I decided I'm not doing this. I'm buying a school bus. And this is my
Such
future.
a turn of events. Eh?
Yeah, it was a turn of events. It was almost like a mental breakdown kind of moment. But I bought the school bus and I was like, I need to figure out a way to raise or come up with $50,000 to renovate this school bus and a commercial space and open by the fall. So like I fell into manifestation because I found Catherine Zankina's book. It was like Manifest $1,000 in 10 days or something. Like it was like a cheesy title like that. I think it was the Manifest Your Inner Money Babe book. And that's how I fell into it. And it was literally as cheesy as like writing what you want on a piece of paper and putting it underneath your pillow. And I did it and I went like full in and I was like, I'm going to commit to manifestation. And that's what I've done ever since.
And it's
like,
worked.
I'd say it has worked. Yeah, I believe in it like wholeheartedly.
I think one of the biggest things that we kind of tend to forget is like the mindset piece of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually just saying this to my sister the other day, like the whole Disney princess and Disney song, like a dream is a wish your heart makes. Like that song did not come out of nowhere. Like that was because somebody literally it is. Disney was ahead of this like long before, anybody else was with this regard. But like, it's just, I'm just so intrigued by this. And it just makes you realize like the power of a positive mind shift and really like believing, but also like making your dreams come to reality, but you have to put in the work too. And like, that's obviously a huge piece of it. You can't just sit there and hope and wish and dream that something's going to happen. You have to like build on that too.
Yeah.
So like, how have you done that though, Jackie, with your own brand and your business?
Yeah. So I think any dream of mine that I have, the thing I tell myself is if there's frustration around it and I'm having trouble figuring out how to make it happen, that means that it's possible. If I have no frustration, no negative emotion towards a dream, I'm not frustrated, like stuck, then it means that I don't care enough. It's never going to happen. Mm-hmm. So I tell myself that first. But yeah, every goal of mine, I'm very much into goal setting. Like I go down to every quarter, every month, every week. Like I'm very intentional about it. So I think it's a mix of intentional action and your mindset, but you have to get your mindset first before you can take action. So I think for me, like getting the mindset right is first.
So for somebody who's like just starting this, like they're hearing this conversation, they're like, this is something that I want to implement in my own practice. Like, where do they even start? Yeah.
So Manifestation Babe is a great resource because she has everything from like beginner to advanced. So I'd say there, but honestly, as simple as like daily affirmations, as cheesy as they sound, that's like the easiest way to get started is to put what you want to happen out into the universe. And you can speak them out loud. You can write them down. But the point is like, you have to do it every day and you have to do it in the form that this is already happening to me. Not like this is a hope for the future. Mm-hmm. I'd say that's the easiest thing to start with is daily affirmations. Yeah.
So Jackie, I want to kind of shift gears a little bit and talk about knowing your worth and actually setting your rates, especially for those that are a freelancer. And one of the biggest things that I'm having with more business owners is actually two things. One, I'm telling them to take the word small out of their vocabulary because they're not a small business owner.
Yes, I love that.
Right? Like it's like, get the word small, just anything that like minimizes what you're doing, get that out of your vocabulary first and foremost. The second thing is that we need to get rid of the term, like I'm a small town business. We should be expecting small town rates. No, we shouldn't be expecting small town rates because why should somebody in a larger city where there is more of a saturated or even an oversaturated market, why should they be allowed to set higher rates for themselves while somebody in a more rural community be setting smaller rates for themselves, right?
100%.
Because you know your worth, you know your value, you know your talents. Why would you not charge that? So like, what do you say to like startup businesses in your industry that are like, where do I start? What do I charge myself? Because you don't want to be overcharging where you think like we're not going to get enough clients, but you don't also want to be underselling yourself too, where people are taking advantage of you.
Yeah. So you gotta like, this is like really tangible advice, but you have to put all of your expenses into an Excel sheet first and foremost. Like literally just figure out what the cost of doing business is. Because if you can't even match that, then there's no point in being in business. And I think it shocks a lot of people what their overhead actually is and how much they need to make to get there just to cover the basic expenses, let alone like a monthly salary to pay yourself. So I think first and foremost, that for sure. The small town mindset is huge. I mean, I'm in Smiths Falls, small town, like very rural, up until recently, like hasn't been popping like it is. And I charge more than artists and stylists do in the city. So like, again, I think that comes down to mindset, knowing your worth and having worked on that over the course of years. Like when I first started, I was obviously charging lower. And I think that's okay too, to do in your first few months, first year even, charging lower, building up your portfolio, building up a clientele, even building Google reviews. Like it can be worth it to work for low rates or free in certain cases, which I know is controversial. But if it means getting those reviews and getting your business launched, then I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
The key, I think, though, is not to work for free or for low rates to people that you want to be your potential customers.
That's so true.
Because then they get in the mindset of, oh, you did my hair for $50. Why are you charging $150 now?
Well, especially when like that surprises and shock value is no longer there. Like especially being like, okay, you know, putting that out into the universe, being like, okay, just so you guys know, like I'm going to be raising my prices. When there is like that expectation too, where it's going to happen and like, and you have those conversations, but you're also like knowing this is like, I know I'm good. I know that like I'm going to provide a good delivery. And that you're going to get the best return on investment, like whether it be your hair, your makeup, like that is a luxury service that people are willing to pay for. And there should be a price tag on there.
100%, especially if you're in the bridal industry. Like you got to charge those rates because it's the most stressful industry. Such a high demand. You cannot call in sick. Like there's just such a little margin for error that you need to be charging luxury rates.
That's such a good point. Aside from the fact that you've signed a contract, you have committed to that person and their special event, their special day, that time that they expect you to be there. So you have to put all of your personal needs aside, whether like there was a fight with your husband,
in the family.
You are there. And when you bail, that whole that person's entire day has just gone out the window because of you and that cancellation.
100%. Yeah. I've worked weddings like after breakups and like through deaths in the family and like through wild things. And like you have to show up, leave that at the door and put on your game face and work because it's someone's most important day of their life. So you need that mindset to be able to work in bridal for sure.
So what are some non-negotiables, Jackie? Or have you had like even any experiences with friends who've tried to like weasel their way into getting deals or free services out of you because of, you know, your family or you're a friend?
Definitely. And I will say like, I guess I kind of like, this definitely doesn't work for everyone, but I do love gifting like bridal hair and makeup for free to my friends. So like if I'm in your bridal party or you're a close friend of mine, I'm doing your hair and makeup for free because that's like my gift to you. And these people wouldn't be able to necessarily afford my rates otherwise. So I think that's so special that's like a gift I can give to them. So I have no issues doing that. It doesn't work for everyone, obviously. Like if you can't pay your bills, and you shouldn't be gifting free services, obviously, but I feel like I've worked so hard to get to such a privileged position to where I can that I feel good about it. The one thing I will say though is even those gifted services, I always send an invoice and I cross out what the full amount would be and I put 0.
Your accountant must love you for that.
They know the exact value of the service that they're getting and they appreciate it. I've never gifted free services to any of my friends who haven't appreciated it. And that might be why.
That's
like, if anything, they're
Jackie.
overly appreciative.
Yeah.
Because they know, they're like, we could never afford this. Like,
but when you put a dollar amount and value on there for them to see it and say like, this is my gift for you. This is time. This is travel. This is time spent specifically for you. Like, that is more appreciative. I know that not everybody does appreciate it, but you're selective though too.
I'm very selective.
You are gifting that to.
I know the people that I'm gifting will appreciate it. The ones that, if I don't feel about gifting someone something, I don't. For my makeup line, what I like to do, sometimes people will ask for discount codes and I always have like an ongoing 10% off. So like, I'm happy to give that to anyone who asks. But I like throwing in freebies. So like they're paying for the order, but then I throw in like an eye mask or just something extra. That's like my love language is like gifting. So for me, I love throwing in the surprises. Yeah.
Oh, that's my love language too. Like always, anything to like kind of make that experience just a little extra special and stuff. Yeah, it does go a long way.
It does. It does. Even if like the eye mask cost me $3 or whatever. Yeah, so worth it.
Hey, it's Jen from Wilder Waters, and you're tuning in to Ottawa Valley Boss Babes podcast.
Welcome to Coty 28. We are a Scandinavian home decor and lifestyle business located in downtown Artfire. I invite you to visit our beautiful space that is filled with pieces that have been carefully curated with love.
My passion for creating spaces that bring a sense of warmth and coziness is highlighted as you shop in our unique industrial style space filled with natural light. Come visit us for your home decor needs and for special gifts for the holiday season. Hope to see you soon.
Located in the heart of downtown Pembroke, Crazy Beautiful Dresses and Decor is your destination for all things wedding, prom, events, and more. We focus on finding our customers gowns they feel beautiful in, while having a one-of-a-kind experience with each of our staff. Our main goal is that our customers leave happy. Our samples in store range from sizes 8 to 24, and we have wedding gowns from more than 5 designers, bridesmaid gowns in every color you can think of, and evening wear for all of your special events needs. With 2 private bridal suites on hand and 3 spacious change rooms equipped with a full bridesmaid station, we are able to accommodate the entire entourage. Are you ready to find your crazy beautiful dress? Visit us online or in store at 76 Pembroke Street West.
Hi everyone, my name is Emily Farrell and I'm a licensed financial professional serving Ottawa and the Ottawa Valley. I'm here to help you make finances fun. As a broker, I'm able to shop around and find the best possible solutions for you and your family. We are not a one-size-fits-all approach, which I love. Whether you are looking for debt restructuring or consolidation options, wealth building, estate preservation, or proper protection for you and your family through life insurance, critical illness, or disability insurance, I'm here to help,
making sure that no family is left behind.
Feel free to reach out should you wish to have a complimentary review for you and your family, or follow me on social media for more financial tips and tricks.
Hey, it's Jen from Wilder Waters, and you're tuning in to Ottawa Valley Boss Babes podcast.
All right, Jackie, you are fairly quiet on your social media pages. I mean, I'm always...
Not Astrid Park.
No, not Astrid Park, but sorry. But for It's Jackie K, like for your makeup and hairline, like you only post about like 1 to 2 times a month and like the occasional reel here or there. But you still manage to book close to 200 wedding bookings a year without having to show up in the socials every day.
Yeah.
So yes, aside from Astrid Park, which we're going to get into, you've achieved what many business owners really think is like the unachievable, because we all think we have to show up on the socials every day. So like, how have you done that? How have you built your empire without having to always show up on the socials?
I'd say that was always my goal from the very beginning with bridal hair and makeup. So I think for me, it comes down to branding over anything. Like I have such a specific brand. It's very bold. Like I know my place in the industry. You know, when you come across like one of my posts, you know, it's mine. So I think branding goes a long way there, and just having worked for, honestly, I think patience. Like I've worked for almost a decade in the wedding industry. So like that amount of time in the beginning, I was absolutely hustling and posting every single day. Now I'm at a place where we're overwhelmed with the amount of bookings we have, and I can't grow my team fast enough. So I don't post every day because we honestly can't take on more. So like I feel very lucky to get there. And the only thing that I can think that has gotten me there is just giving our brides a good experience and branding.
Yeah. And obviously referrals.
Yeah, that
word of
definitely
mouth
helps.
goes a long way. And people I feel like that I'm talking to, more and more business owners are saying like it's the word of mouth and that actual human connection that's actually driving home sales and services and experiences and whatever. But another thing too is SEO.
Yeah.
Like search engine
Which I'm huge
optimization.
on.
Oh, yes. Like when they're searching like makeup artist Smith Falls, like that's what's popping up is Google.
Yeah, that was the very first thing I did in my business was made sure I was first on Google for bridal makeup Ottawa.
How did you know that though? Because so many people think it's on the socials is where you have to be, but really it's on Google or Google Maps when you can like pinpoint somebody and their services. That's where you should be. And that's where your testimonials and reviews. Yeah. That's what you should be working on is search engine optimization.
100%. It gets overlooked because social media is obviously more glamorous. But SEO is where it's at. Yeah. Like, you have to nail that down first. If you can get on the first page for our like bridal photographer Ottawa, like you're literally set for life. Your business is set.
How do you do that though? How do you make yourself like one of the first that pop up? Do you pay for that?
So no, you don't pay for that. If anyone offers to like charge you for that service, it's not real. So don't buy into it. There's a few things that go into it. So you need backlinks to other like reputable sources. So like wedding blogs, if you do a styled shoot and it gets featured and they backlink to your website, that counts for SEO. Other vendors, if they post the styled shoot that you were in and link back to you, that counts for SEO. Using meta tags on every single one of your photos on your website, even if you think it's not important. Using headers that match for your keywords on every single page. When you're on a page in your website, you need to be linking to other pages on your site, not out of your site. So there's like many things you can do. Probably the easiest I'd say to get started, like do an SEO check over all of your website and then get blog posting. So like do a post a week because that'll tell Google basically that your site is getting updated. It's relevant. People want to read these things and then you'll get pushed. So blog posting it's not dead like people think it is.
Yeah. All these social media marketers and like they're giving us the wrong information of like when to post and what time and
none of that matters.
All these trending songs, it doesn't matter. Yeah. SEO all the way.
SEO.
All right, Jacquie, now let's talk about your other baby, Astrid Park. So give my listeners and viewers a recap about how Astrid Park first came to be with your business partner, Lana, and how business has grown since we last spoke.
So it started as a pandemic pivot, that same school bus that I was talking
Billy
about.
the Bluebird.
Yeah, turning into a beauty bar. The pandemic hit literally my first season that I would have been open as a beauty bar. So obviously like hair and makeup were shut down for almost 2 years. Like they were illegal. We could not perform services. Health unit wouldn't approve us opening. So right away, like I'd say first month of summer in 2020, I was like, we have to do something because this pandemic isn't just lasting a few months. Like we're in this. So I was chatting with Lana, who's my business partner, and she's also a consultant. And I was kind of just like throwing ideas at her, like trying to see what she thought I should do. And then we came up with the idea together. First it was a brewery. We were like, we should open a brewery. And then we were like, no, wait, better. Like I already have the bus. Let's turn it into a camper and open an accommodations site at a brewery. So that's what we did. And it kind of like snowballed from there, I guess. We didn't really put much thought, honestly, into what we were doing. We just knew we had to keep going. We had to buy more campers. We had to convert them. We had to get them up and running. So it's kind of just been like adrenaline, honestly. Yeah. Like since then, just like pivot after pivot, figuring out what works, what doesn't. We learned a lot in our first year. And now I feel like we're on a roll. Like I feel pretty good about,
Now, why is it important for you guys to be showing up on the socials on that kind of business versus yours?
Yes, because it's new, like predominantly, like we're in the growth stage. So that means hustling. Like we're posting at least one reel a day, if not more. Wow. Like, and static posts, always having stories in our feed. Like, so because we're in the growth stage, we're definitely going hard. And once we get to a phase where we are booked out every single night of the month, we'll slow down on that. But it's such fun content to make and such a difference from my luxury bridal business. It's literally the opposite. So like I can show up in a ball cap and a t-shirt and no makeup and just make fun content. Mm-hmm. And it's such a like refreshing change from having to be like perfectly polished. And like it's helped me a lot kind of also embrace just like me. Like I've started wearing less makeup. Like we talked about it.
I was just going to say, we talked about this.
I don't wear foundation anymore. Like I don't wear a lip.
I'm there, by the way. I'm finally there. So happy to hear and that. My skin, Jackie, has never been more phenomenal. Clear. I mean, I do have makeup on today, but like, and we did talk about this on our last episode, was that the pandemic really helped like me eliminate more of these toxins and products from my skin. And I have seen such radiant change. And I mean, also like, I feel so much better without having like that caked on makeup. And I mean, it's one less thing I have to do at night. Yeah. All I have to do now is just wash my face. I don't have to like spend endless time like scrubbing my eyes, trying to get everything off.
Oh, I know. Yeah. So that's been nice too. Because we can literally just show up as our weird selves and like people love it. People love seeing the authentic content. I think a curated feed works well for some businesses, but for us, people want to just see the silly, like camp activities.
And you guys are actually like incorporating your customers, your viewers, your followers, like into the next stage of Astrid Park with building into your next destination experience in Tulum, Mexico. Yeah. Tell me more about this.
Yeah. Okay. So both Lana and I are huge into the Web3 ecosphere. I was always like a crypto bro. That's what I laugh and call myself, because I've been into crypto since its inception. Yep. So when Web3 hit and NFT projects hit, we were like, okay, we got to capitalize on this. We got to be like one of the first small businesses to like dive into Web3.
And sorry, so what is that? Like, what is Web3?
Yeah. So basically like, there's 3 stages of the internet. Like the first was obviously when it first came to be. The second is what we're in now. The third is a decentralized phase. So like social media, you own your social media instead because it lives on the blockchain. So there's no intermediaries that have control over your data or your privacy or what you do or don't do on the internet in Web3. It's all about ownership and control. So there's no Facebook, there's no Instagram, everything's owned by you. You have control over everything. And that's the next phase we're going into. AI is a part of Web3. Yes. NFTs are, crypto is, because crypto's decentralized. Everything's built on blockchain networks. So yeah, that's what we'll be moving into within the next few years. We already are in large part. Every major corporation in the world is already starting NFT projects. They're already using crypto. I think a lot of people think of it and they think, oh, VR, like that's what you think of when you think of Web3, but I think that's more like 10 years out. Right now, there's a lot of tangible ways that we can use Web3 in our businesses, but also just in the world. Like it's allowed people in developing countries to have access to crypto, whereas before they'd be controlled by their currency, which may be inflated, corruption, like you never know. So it's given financial freedom to a lot of people around the world, which is one of the coolest things about Web3.
Jackie, how on earth did you come about this information and get immersed in this world? Because I feel like you're way ahead of a lot of us business owners. We're still trying to navigate like people getting websites and you know, learning content. Like you are way beyond the rest of us.
I think I'm just a nerd. Like
a smart nerd. A smart nerd.
Like my major was global development during my second degree at Carleton. So for me, the Web3 aspect of people being able to use crypto in developing countries, that's the coolest part for me. And people being able to start NFT projects, regardless of where they live, that's like the main draw for me. And then being able to like dive in and say we were one of the first small businesses to like incorporate or to start an NFT project. Like, it's just cool.
It is cool.
Yeah. Like, so why not? What do you have to lose? Like, that's how I feel about it.
And how are you guys like incorporating like the user experience then for getting that customer feedback in order to build this next platform with what you guys are looking at? Because you guys are like putting the call out to like I said, your customers, like your oh my goodness,
audience.
Like your audience, but also like your stayers. Like,
so basically the Astrid Park project is our NFT project. So our NFTs are called park passes.
Yes.
So they're more like tangible for people to understand. So when you buy a park pass, you are buying ownership of the park and our next phase. So every decision that we make, the NFT project will be funding Tulum. So we have our 5 phases. Once we sell out a certain number of park passes, we have our different stages of development that we're going through. So we're in phase 1 right now. And every decision made by park pass holders, it's all together. So like if you bought a park pass, like you get to decide what our next camper theme is going to be, what camper we buy next, like what's going to be on our taco truck menu. Like we're really trying to involve our community and have them as like co-creators of this next adventure.
I
basically.
love that.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing. Like being able to ask your community, what do you guys want to see? What do you want out of this? You know?
That's what's most important. It's not what we want. Like it's not about us. So like we've taken our ego out of it entirely and we're letting the experience be curated by the people that are actually booking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this is like a really funny like analogy too, and I always refer to this, Jackie, is like I'll never forget when Joe Dirt, which I know you've seen, when Joe Dirt has like met with that fire, like the fireworks guy on the side of the road, and he was like, "What do you all have for sale?" And he was like, I don't know, like he was like, "Oh, I just like these 2 certain kinds of fireworks." And he was like, "Where are the ding dongs and this and that?" And he was like, "Well, like the smokes and the snakes or I don't know what they were called, like the little ding dong things are like, that's what I like." And then Joe Dirt looks at me, he's like, "It's not about what you like, partner. It's about the consumer."
Exactly.
But like that mentality is what you need to have in your business. You have to look at what do your customers want? What can I do to take this to the next level? Instead of like keeping it like inside your own mind and within like your own your own team. Build on that. Where can this go? But ask the people who are the ones that are coming. Like, what can we do better?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And like as part of like being the park pass holder, you get to like stay at the park every year for free. So like the cool thing about that is like you can stay in the camper you've designed, and that just makes it such a better guest experience for them. Like that's so memorable to like stay in a camper and be like, I chose this wallpaper. Like how cool is that?
It is pretty cool.
And it's rewarding the people that have like supported us from the beginning.
Yeah.
So yeah, if anything, we're like over delivering value. That's our main goal with that. Is like it's such an incredible project and like paths that we're offering that it's like we want people to be like, is this too good to be true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jackie, you are such a light. You're so positive. When people cross paths with you, they're just drawn to you because you have like that charismatic energy. And one of the things that I think that a lot of people don't realize is like you did not have an easy childhood growing up. You actually had a very traumatic childhood with an abusive father, and you guys actually almost wound up in the witness protection program. Like that's the severity of this.
Yeah.
So when people see you and they see your success and they're like, how did someone who came from what really was a broken home, how did she become the strong, successful, independent, and courageous woman that you are today?
Yeah, I think because you're so right. Like it can go either way.
Yeah.
Like, and I've seen it go both ways for many people. I'd say for me, definitely my brother. He's also an entrepreneur. He owns a paving company and a distribution center. He's an absolute badass. He always acted as like my father figure, like protector growing up. Because it was always like the 3 of us, the 3 musketeers. So he took on that role like from the age of 10, like even younger, I guess.
Wow.
Probably like from the age of 8, I'd say he was like filled in that role. So I feel like without him kind of as my mentor, guiding me, like protecting me my whole life, it could have gone the other way like so easily. And then the positivity, I don't know, like I definitely have negative days like anyone else. Like I definitely get burnt out. But I think it comes down to like gratitude. Like it's just so cool that I'm alive right now, that like I literally made it through that and like can say that we're such a badass family and we got through everything despite all odds. Like we lived in shelters. We relied on food banks. Like up until I was in high school, we were living in shelters. Like we didn't have a home. We were homeless. So like, I think it comes down to gratitude for sure. It's just like literally nothing else matters when you have like your family and your health. So like, how could I not be positive, you know?
But I mean, even still though, Jackie, like to kind of try to put ourselves in that situation. And for my listeners and audience who don't really, know the full story, that is just like a shameless plug to go back and listen to Jackie's episode on that. But like you and your brother really had to be a team, and that bond forms, I think, even so much more when it's like fight and flight. Like this is the shit hand that we're dealt with,
100%.
and also looking at your mom who's like having to like navigate all that on her own and raise 2 kids by herself in a very severe situation where your father could be coming after you guys and potentially like shit could go down. Like it's very serious.
Obviously, like we were told to either go in the witness protection program or like move across the province and cut off all contact. Right. And that was up to my mom. So she's been through like more than anyone I know because of that whole ordeal. Like she ended up going back to school. So she's a huge inspiration as well. She didn't even have her GED. She ended up going back to school, becoming a PSW worker, caring for people. And then shortly after that, she got diagnosed with dystonia, which is sort of like MS, a little more rare. But the cause of that is literally being beaten, physically beaten. So like she had to retire in her early 50s. And she's been through hell and back like since then. Like literally just this year, she went in for brain surgery. This is like going off tangent. But she ended up going into a coma.
Oh my gosh.
From the brain surgery. And literally for 2 months, almost 2 months, she was in a coma after the surgery.
She really has been to hell and back.
Like, they told us to say our goodbyes. We had grieved. Like literally we had went through it.
I'm so sorry.
We were at the hospital every day. And it's like, I just felt grateful that I was able to take that time off because of what I had built in my businesses. It like allowed me to take the winter off to do that and to be there for her. And she literally pulled through. So like she ended up in a rehabilitation unit. She just actually got out. So it's been like an 8-month journey for her.
She survived because of you and your brother.
Yeah, I think so. I think
she knew that she had to pull it through to make it through with you guys.
She's like 100% a survivor.
She's a survivor and a warrior.
Yeah.
Good for
100%.
her. Wow.
So like how can you not be positive about life when like, you know?
Cheers to your mom, honestly, like for pulling through and for making it out alive.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
So she's doing well. She's recovering.
Yeah. Like she obviously has a brain injury. So things are going to be different for life. Yeah. There's a lot that she'll never get back. And that's okay. Yeah. But like, she's here. We're glad she's here and she's alive. And she is too, obviously.
Cheers to your mom.
Yeah.
Honestly, like what a badass to be able to like go through hell and back and still make it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, how could you allow yourself to go down a bad path when like that's your mom and that's your brother? Yeah. You know?
Yeah. Oh, Jacquie.
So I'd say it's because of them.
And therapy.
Yeah, and therapy.
And cheers to therapy, right?
Because since like the age of 5.
Yeah.
So like, yeah.
Jacquie, what has been one of your biggest growing pains in business that you look back on now and wish maybe you would have done a little bit differently?
Yeah, this is a good one. So I feel like this is actually not talked about at all. We grew Astrid Park debt-free, which I'm obviously very proud of. Lana is too. It's a capital-intensive business. It was well over 6 figures to start out of pocket. But I actually wish, looking back, we had like swallowed our pride, put our ego aside, and taken out a business loan. Because we could have grown so much faster, so much easier, so much like just everything would have been easier, I feel like, with the growth stage. So I think that's like going through the growing pains of Lana like stopped taking on as many consulting clients because it was burning her out. I was growing the park, obviously, while running the bridal business, also seasonal, and the makeup line. If we had taken out a business loan instead and been able to hire help and just being able to do things on our own terms instead of like just hustling ourselves to death, I think that's one thing that growing pains, like, don't feel like you failed or you haven't made it just as much as anyone else has. If you take out a business loan, like take out the loan, you're just as much of a success as anyone else who didn't.
100%.
Like 100%. So I think the stigma of like, oh, I had to take out a loan, I'm not as successful, like that's complete bullshit.
Yeah.
Take out the loan, do whatever's easiest for you in this moment, whatever
and nobody
makes
will
sense.
Know. Nobody knows anyways,
you don't
right?
even have to talk about it.
No.
Like, yeah.
And when you're like, especially, I am such an advocate for working with business organizations that handle different financing options so that you don't necessarily always have to go to the bank and be paying like that high interest rate.
Yes, there's many.
Yeah, like these organizations are built specifically to help entrepreneurs.
100%, like Futurepreneur, BDC, like the Bank of Development Canada.
So many opportunities.
Yeah.
And they've also got they've got the business advisors that are going to work right beside you to help you for as little or as much of information that you want to take.
Yeah.
They've got workshops. It's crucial.
Honestly just like looking back, I'm like, it's so much smarter to take out the loan if you're doing something capital intensive.
Yeah. Don't go to the bank.
Yeah.
Like, don't let that be like shop around.
Yeah.
Shop around for a loan.
And if you're doing something that obviously you don't need a loan for, then I would say obviously it's better to do it as a side hustle first, build it up, like debt free. Because obviously debt comes with interest.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are negatives, but looking back now, I'm like, let's take out a loan. Like, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that though. Swallow your pride and just do it.
Yeah, you're as self-made as anyone. If you take it literally every single billionaire on the planet took out a business loan.
Yes, that's right.
Or raised funds from VCs.
So Barbara Walters will be the first one. Or not Barbara Walters, sorry. What's her name there?
Barbara Corcoran.
Thank you. Yes.
I love her.
Yes. I mean, maybe Barbara Walters did too in some aspects.
Yeah.
But yes, no, she would be the first one to tell
100%.
you. And look at her rising that elevator all the way to the top.
Leverage what you can. Like debt can be leveraged. Debt is so shameful, I feel like, especially for women.
Yes.
Men are never shamed for taking out debt.
No.
Women are 100%. Yeah. It's like if you
and also and they're still denied to this day too.
Oh yeah.
I know. We're
100%.
I know. Anyway.
Yeah. That's a whole other podcast.
Yeah, we could be here all day. And Jackie, before we wrap this up, I do have one more question for you. And that is, who is one local boss babe that inspires you that you think everybody should know about?
Okay. So it's a hairstylist. She does bridal, but predominantly cut and coloring. Her name's Emma. So it's Emma's Hairstyling. She also has a social media marketing company called Uniquely Social. Her and her partner actually just bought their first home. And it burned down tragically. Yeah.
Oh no.
But she has literally been like the most positive light through it all and like so raw and authentic on social media through everything. I just feel like everyone should know about her. Everyone should support her. She's such a kind-hearted human being. She was one of the first hairstylists I met when I moved to Ottawa, and she just made me feel so at home. So yeah,
I love
Emma,
that shout
for
out.
Sure.
Especially in the same industry as you. Again, babes empowering babes, Jackie. I'm telling you, I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being a part of the podcast and for being here today and for celebrating with me. I just appreciate you so much. But one more thing, plug your socials and as well as your website, because let's drive that, and anything else that you want to plug if you're taking on new brides for the 2024 season, or if you're all booked up.
Yeah.
And Astrid Park too.
Yeah. So my main bridal it's Jacquie K, spelled the French way. Astrid Park is just astridpark.co. Same with the website. And then I also have a travel Instagram, Jet Set Jackie, that that's my next business is content creation for travel companies. Yeah.
Oh, well, we'll be watching.
Yeah. Thanks.
And what about the podcast? Because you did have a podcast for a little bit.
Yeah.
You took a little hiatus from that.
Yeah, I still have it. I was just saying earlier, I need to get back into it. It's kind of fell by the wayside because we're so go for Astrid Park.
Oh, when do you even have time for that too?
Yeah, but I am. It's going to be a priority for winter.
Okay.
I want to bring it back.
All the roads lead to therapy is what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm a huge fan. I mean, once I maxed out those episodes, always waiting for more Jackie.
Okay, they're coming. I promise.
Okay, babe, well, cheers to you
Cheers.
and everything that you've been succeeding in life. Always cheering you on from the sidelines, and thank you for cheering me on too.
Thanks for having me.